3 months ago, Malcolm started calling his behavior just jokes whenever I questioned anything. The pattern began in September when I asked him not to flirt with girls at parties. He laughed and told his friends I was obsessed with him. Dean, Randall, and Curtis all found this hilarious. They started making comments about clingy girlfriends whenever I was around. Malcolm began testing boundaries. He would dance with other girls at bars and wink at me across the room. He started giving out his number to random women right in front of me. When I confronted him later, he said I was being completely dramatic about normal social interaction. "It's just dancing," he would say, shaking his head like I was completely crazy. His friends backed him up every single time without fail. At Curtis's birthday party last weekend, Malcolm's ex Sabrina showed up wearing a tight red dress. She had been messaging Malcolm for weeks, but he claimed they were just being friendly. I watched her touch his arm while talking, running her fingers along his bicep. Malcolm kept glancing at me, smirking. His friends Dean and Randall positioned themselves nearby with their phones out, recording everything. The party was packed with people from our college and nearby schools. Malcolm had been drinking steadily since we arrived at 8. He kept buying Sabrina drinks and completely ignoring me for hours. Every time I tried to join their conversation, he would turn his back to me or change the subject entirely. Around 11, Malcolm grabbed Sabrina by the waist and pulled her close. He kissed her with full tongue, hands gripping her hips. The kiss lasted at least 30 seconds. Dean and Randall started chanting immediately. "She deserved it! She deserved it!" they yelled, pointing their cameras directly at me. Other people turned to watch the spectacle. Some laughed. Others looked uncomfortable but said nothing. Malcolm pulled away from Sabrina and stared straight at me. "Just a joke, babe," he called out, grinning. Sabrina giggled and whispered something in his ear. He nodded and squeezed her waist again. I walked through the crowd toward the front door. People moved aside and stared. My phone started buzzing before I reached my car. Text after text appeared on my screen. Malcolm was sending them faster than I could read. 15 messages total by the time I got home. "You're ruining my night. Come back right now and apologize to Sabrina. Stop being so dramatic about everything. Everyone at this party thinks you're completely psycho now. This is exactly why guys don't want serious girlfriends. You totally embarrassed me in front of all my friends. Learn to take a harmless joke for once in your life." I drove home and turned off my phone completely. When I checked it Sunday morning, Malcolm had posted 6 Instagram stories between midnight and 3 a.m. Videos of him grinding on random girls at the party. Close-up shots of women dancing against him. Each caption read variations of, "This is what happens when you try to control me," and "Freedom feels so good right now." The final story showed Malcolm doing shots with 3 different girls. The caption read, "Single life hits different." He had tagged Dean, Randall, and Curtis in every single post. Malcolm showed up at my apartment building at 3 a.m. Sunday morning. He pounded on the front door for 5 straight minutes, yelling my name loud enough to wake up neighboring units. When I finally opened it, he reeked of alcohol, cigarettes, and multiple different perfumes. His button-down shirt was wrinkled and stained with something dark, his hair stuck up in random directions. "You're a psycho girlfriend," he said, swaying in my doorway. "Every guy cheats on their girl eventually. At least I did it to your face instead of sneaking around behind your back like some coward." I told him to leave immediately. He laughed and leaned against the doorframe. "You'll forgive me by Tuesday like you always do," he said. "Remember when I made out with your sister's friend at Christmas? You got over that real quick." Then he stumbled back to his car and drove away. Monday afternoon, Dean sent me a private message on Instagram. "You're way too uptight about everything. Malcolm was teaching you an important lesson about trust and boundaries. You should be grateful he cares enough to help you grow as a person." I read the message twice, then closed the app. 20 minutes later, Celeste sent me a message. She's Curtis's girlfriend and had seen the group chat on his phone. She forwarded me 23 screenshots from their conversations since Sunday night. Malcolm was bragging in detail about putting me in my place. "She'll come crawling back like always," he wrote. "They all do when you show them who's really the boss." Randall replied with crying laughing emojis. Curtis wrote, "Savage move, bro." Dean added, "She definitely needed that reality check." Malcolm sent a shirtless photo of himself in bed with messy hair. "Single life is treating me incredibly well already," he captioned it. More laughing emojis followed from all his friends. Malcolm thinks he knows exactly who I am. He thinks I'm still the same naive girl who apologized after our first fight 2 years ago. The girl who blamed herself when he joked about my weight in front of his entire family last Christmas. Right now, he's probably out celebrating with his friends, thinking he's won some kind of victory. He has no idea what's coming for him. First update, so remember how Malcolm said I'd come crawling back by Tuesday? Well, guess what happened on Tuesday? Absolutely nothing. I didn't text him, didn't call him, didn't even check his social media. And apparently this broke his entire brain because by Wednesday morning I had 17 missed calls and 43 text messages. The messages started normal for Malcolm. Hey babe, you're being really immature about this whole thing. Then they got progressively more desperate. I know you're reading these messages. Why are you ignoring me when I'm trying to fix this? This silent treatment thing is getting really old. By Thursday he was practically having a meltdown through text. I can't believe you're actually going to throw away 2 years over one harmless joke. Sabrina meant absolutely nothing to me, you have to know that. I was drunk and my friends were egging me on, you know how they get. Here's the thing that really gets me. He kept calling it a joke. Like making out with his ex while his friends filmed me and chanted was just some hilarious prank I should appreciate. The audacity of this man is truly something else. Friday afternoon he showed up at my workplace. My coworker Miranda came to find me in the break room and told me there was some guy in the lobby asking for me, looking really agitated. I peeked around the corner and there was Malcolm pacing back and forth, running his hands through his hair like he always does when he's stressed. I walked out there and his whole face lit up like he thought I was finally ready to forgive him. He started talking immediately. Thank God, I've been trying to reach you for days. We need to talk about this situation and figure out how to move forward together. I told him we could talk right there in the lobby since he'd made such a public spectacle of our relationship already. His expression changed real quick. Don't be like this, he said. You're being really unfair. I came here to apologize and work things out like adults. So I asked him what exactly he was apologizing for. And guys, this man actually said he was sorry that I misunderstood his joke and got my feelings hurt. Not sorry for kissing his ex. Not sorry for humiliating me. Sorry that I'm too sensitive to appreciate his sense of humor. I told him his apology was noted and he could leave now. He started getting louder then, saying I was being completely unreasonable and making this whole thing way bigger than it needed to be. Every couple goes through stuff like this, he said. It's called growing together and learning to trust each other. Miranda was watching from behind the reception desk, along with half the office at this point. Malcolm noticed everyone staring and finally lowered his voice. He stepped closer and told me he wasn't leaving until we worked this out properly. That's when I realized something crucial. He genuinely believed I would eventually cave like I always had before. The old me would have been embarrassed about causing a scene at work. The old me would have agreed to talk privately just to make him leave. But something had shifted after watching those group chat screenshots. Reading him brag about putting me in my place and knowing I'd come crawling back changed everything for me. I told Malcolm very clearly that we were done. Not taking a break, not working through issues, but completely finished. His face went through about 5 different emotions in 10 seconds. Confusion, disbelief, anger, then this weird fake laugh like I was obviously kidding. You don't mean that, he said. You're just really upset right now, which I totally understand. But we've been together for 2 years. You can't just throw that away over something this stupid. I explained that making out with his ex while his friends filmed it wasn't stupid, it was deliberate humiliation. That his group chat messages showed exactly how he really felt about me. That showing up drunk at my apartment at 3 a.m. wasn't romantic, it was disrespectful, and honestly kind of scary. Malcolm got defensive immediately. Those guys were just being guys, you know how group chats are. We say stupid stuff to impress each other. It doesn't mean anything real. He claimed the kiss with Sabrina was just him being drunk and showing off. Nothing more serious than that. But here's what really sealed it for me. When I mentioned feeling scared when he showed up drunk, he actually rolled his eyes. Come on, you know I would never hurt you. Stop being so dramatic about everything. The fact that he dismissed my feelings about his drunk 3 a.m. visit told me everything I needed to know. This man does not respect my boundaries, my feelings, or my basic sense of safety. And he never will. Because in his mind, I'm just being dramatic and oversensitive. I walked away from him standing in that lobby. Just turned around and went back to work like he wasn't even there. Through the window, I watched him stand there for another 10 minutes, probably waiting for me to come back out and resume the conversation. When I got home that evening, my sister Celeste had left me 3 voicemails. Apparently, Malcolm had called her asking if she could talk some sense into me. He told her I was having some kind of breakdown and needed family intervention to see reason. Celeste was furious. She said Malcolm explained the whole party situation like he was the victim of my jealousy and controlling behavior. According to him, I'd had a complete meltdown over innocent flirting and was now punishing him with silence. But here's the beautiful part. Celeste was actually at Curtis's party. She saw the whole thing happen. She watched Malcolm kiss Sabrina while his friends chanted and filmed. She saw how humiliated I looked walking out. So when Malcolm tried to rewrite history and make himself the victim, she shut that down real fast. She told Malcolm that what she witnessed wasn't innocent flirting. It was public humiliation of his girlfriend for entertainment. That any man who would do that to someone he supposedly loved had serious problems.